This bike is everything I hoped it was gonna be.
I may never be a world champion, but at least I can ride the same bike as one. This is the Crewkerz Jealousy. It's a 26-inch competition bike, the exact same one that Jack Carthy rides. We've been testing a lot of street trials bikes this year, and what better bike to balance the scales than this one? One thing that I want to tell you at the upfront is that this is actually not a test bike. I bought this bike with my own money at full price. And the reason for that is that I've had the same competition trials bike for the last 10 or 15 years. And I've replaced one piece at a time, just trying to keep the bike fresh. But by this point, the geometry is a little outdated. Some pieces are older than others. And it was easier for me just to start from scratch than it was to continue upgrading this bike that I've just been working on for so long. On top of that, I just really wanted to ride this bike. I've only really seen it in person one time, but I know that most of the best riders in the world ride this bike. And what can I say? I want to ride it too. So without any further ado, let's bust this box open and put this thing together. Huh, that's a little presumptive, but okay. Here we go. This is a very light bike. Now I know why the model of this bike is called Jealousy. Just even looking at the bits and pieces that are sticking out from behind the bubble wrap, there's such incredible attention to detail. Let's finish taking the bubble wrap off and see all the other detail that they put into this bike. I think the right move is to get this handlebar on as quick as possible. Before I put this on, have a quick look at this. I've certainly seen carbon spacers before, but I don't know if I've ever seen carbon on carbon when it comes to the steerer tube. This looks like a pretty long stem. I've got a shorter Crewkerz stem around here somewhere. I may end up swapping it out. We'll see how we end up on this. I did buy the long version of this bike. There's actually a long and a medium version of this bike. So I think if you're like 5'6" or under, the medium is a better fit for you. I'm a little bit taller than that, so I went with the large version of the bike. I may end up adjusting the stem a little bit shorter just because I'm probably on the shorter side for people that are riding the large bike. Okay, we've got the stem on. We've got everything else in place. Let's flip this thing over so we can get the rest of the stuff off the bike. The cranks come with a sticker to tell you how tight to go with the pedals. And lucky for us, we actually have a torque wrench that this will be useful for. Woo! This bike is the second French bike that I've ever built, the first one being the TMS Silex. And the best part about both bikes was that the unboxing and assembly was so easy. I basically just had to put the front wheel on, and I'll have to pump up the tires, and we'll be good to go. But before I do that, I want to walk you through all the elements of this bike that make it special. Jack Carthy, the 10-time world champion, had so much input in this bike, and I want to show you all the little details that really make this bike special and why the world champion and so many other top riders choose this bike. Basically, the front half of the bike is all carbon. You've got a carbon fork, you've got a carbon steerer tube, you've got carbon bars. Then you go into the frame itself, and there's such a wild kind of 3D shape specifically to the down tube. It has kind of a teardrop shape that's going on here, which is kind of interesting. Then you look down at the bottom bracket and you see that the bottom bracket shell is offset. Now that's kind of a common thing when it comes to trials bikes, but to see it as it is here with an emphasis on the chain line and the strength, especially with the yoke, which is where kind of the front and back half of the bike meets, really interesting how they kind of piece the whole thing together. Then you've got little details like these little bolts here that cover up the hydraulic line between each side of the brake. It's all these little bits and pieces that really take this bike to the next level. It's not that it's just the geometry is great or the material is good. They really just went line by line through the bike and perfected everything. But not every bike is perfect for every single person. And as I'm looking at this bike, there's a couple changes that I'll likely make. So the front tire on this bike is a 2.0. I'm used to riding 2.2s, 2.3s, but 2.0 feels like a road bike tire. I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit and try it out, but I have a feeling this is probably gonna change. The stem on this bike is gonna have to go as well. There's two different sizes of the frame. There's a medium and a large, and I ordered the large because I'm above the height requirement for the medium, but I'm definitely not as tall as Jack Carthy, so I feel like I probably need to run a little bit shorter stem on here to make this bike fit perfectly. But again, I'm gonna ride it out for a little bit and see how it feels. I just have a hunch that this is probably a little bit too much for me. One component I'm really excited about on this bike are the Jack Carthy Trial Tech levers. This is his signature lever, and I've seen a lot of riders using these. I can't wait to try them out. Just for fun, let's put my old competition bike on the scale first, and then we'll put the new competition bike in there. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. so just a little bit lighter. A big reason why I switched to this new bike was that my old bike from 15 years ago didn't have the same geometry. A lot has changed in trials over the last decade and a half. And so I wanted to have kind of the newest bike, the newest geometry. It's going to take a little bit to get comfortable riding such a high bottom bracket, but I feel like once I get over that hump, I'm going to be able to do some stuff that I've never been able to do before. Check it out, it's the new Super Rider merch. It's on superrider.tv if you want to pick up your own. We're repping the shindig today too. Enough procrastinating, let's ride this bike. The one thing about getting a new bike is that you're so excited, you want to send it super hard, but you also have to kind of take it easy, especially when you're trusting new geometry and the bike is still kind of settling in. It takes a little bit for you to learn stuff. Where you put your balance point, where you lean back, where you lean forward, it all changes when the bike is longer, lower, higher bottom bracket, whatever. So it's important when you first get a new bike to also go through the motions of doing the basics before you really start sending it.
Okay, I'm kind of trash at taking my own advice, but can you blame me?
One quick session and I can already tell you I have 0% buyer's remorse. It just feels weird that competition bikes have felt like this for a little bit and I've been missing out. I've been riding a much older competition bike and I didn't really think they felt that much different, but the second I got up on this, I had so much more back wheel control and everything just felt easy. I'm excited to see where I can go with this bike. I've been doing a lot of work off the bike to get even stronger and better, and I feel like this was the last piece of the puzzle. So if you're like me and you're trying to get into trials, you're trying to build your skill set, I've got a playlist just for you. Go right here and check it out. I'm excited to take this bike out for some more rides. Stay tuned and we're definitely going to send it. I can't wait to ride this bike.